And this is A&B Combos Wrestling Edition.
Oh my gosh. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to A&B Combos Wrestling Edition. Yeah, we were not expecting to go live again so soon.
No.
Let's give some quick shouts.
But we did miss you guys.
We did miss everybody. What's up, Dankster, King Swag, K Yoon? Let's go ahead and get that comment up right there. Let's just leave that up for a second. Just Alex, we appreciate you, brother. We know you are doing your live shortly, and we may actually make yours because we're going to make this brief. But thank you so much for showing that love and support. We really appreciate you. Thank you, Just Alex. Mario Brothers 2019, Prince, Samuel, Notorious, Jalen, Spiky 2999, Joe Taro, Ray Perkins, Cody, Ao, TJ Johnson, Isaiah. What's going on, people? Monet. Sage Emerald Armor's in the house. All right. Yeah, let's just get into this. B has not heard. She saw one, and only because she saw the one because of our thumbnail.
I just saw our thumbnail right now because I wanted to find out live on air. So I'm actually having a moment.
She's having a moment
about Morrison.
So let me go ahead and lay up
you
this.
You have no idea. I am like a day one John Morrison fan, and I was stoked when he came back. And he is so talented. I'm not 1,000% surprised because they were really not knowing what to do with him. But I was hoping that when they brought Miz back, that they would put them together again because they were so amazing. I mean, they were key to keeping the show entertaining when COVID first happened and they didn't know what to do. And he is still so talented in the ring. I am just
let me lay out the people. Okay. What's up, Jody? Appreciate you.
What's up, Jody?
Chris A. Ray Warrior. Arcel World is in the house. Love it. Ayo Punky. All right, so let me just lay down the list. This is gonna be. Are you okay?
I'm gonna get worse than John Morrison.
I joked
it's gonna get worse.
That the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns was released, but they were allowing him to wrestle because he was already billed. I joked. A single tear did come out of her eye.
Whatever.
So let's go down the list.
Wait, so this is gonna get more emotional for me than John Morrison?
Yes and no. No, I don't think it's gonna get more emotional for you.
Because you know.
It's just gonna be okay. I'm glad you said that. Because you know. If you don't know, now you know. B-Fab was released, as we already know, and then they decided to take the broom and just get rid of the rest of Hit Row.
The entire group?
All of Hit Row is gone.
The entire group. The entire group.
All of Hit Row has been dismissed. Fired.
I'm blown away. Once again, they didn't even get a chance.
Hold on right here. New member Chris A. Woo! Round of applause.
Chris.
We got some good stuff for you and all our members.
Yes.
Appreciate you, Chris A. Yeah, more superstars have been released.
Okay, so go ahead.
So let's do that.
So my heart is not hurt about Hit Row, but I am blown away because they didn't even get a chance once again.
Well, it's 8 superstars total. So with Hit Row, that's a good chunk, right? So what's crazy about this, and let me just go ahead and lay it out. So what's crazy about this is we have all the way down the list, Hit Row, Jackson Riker, which I know people were like, yeah, because of his history, and I'm actually surprised that he was still
here. I was
here.
Surprised he was still around.
Tegan Nox. Yes.
Really?
Newly brought up from NXT.
Man.
Who has had both knees worked on
and maybe that's
and
why.
Still comes back. Brought up with Shotzi, separated from Shotzi.
Man.
Tegan friggin' Nox
They just don't give people a chance.
has been released.
Crazy.
Now, here's something. Shane Thorne, that's not a very popular name, but, regardless, Shane Thorne, here's something that really kind of hurt me. This kind of hurt me because this person was already fired. I was brought back.
Joe?
No.
That's the Mojo?
No. Drake Maverick. Drake Maverick. Y'all know.
That's funny.
Drake Maverick was fired, did an emotional video, which we did a video on. We felt that passion. That video got this man rehired.
Yeah, but
what I'm saying is, how do you rehire somebody, just like Eva Marie, just to fire them again?
Because I think that they appeased the audience, and he did the social media thing. They appeased everybody long enough. And I think on the budget cuts, they're like, okay, come on now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep. Now,
I just can't believe Reggie is still flopping and flipping all over the place. I don't.
Yeah, see, now here's a good question. Chris A., what was the point of calling up Hit Row just to fire him?
What was the point of calling up any of them to fire him? You didn't give Tegan Nox a chance either. But Hit Row, it doesn't make any sense. And these were people who were doing well where they were.
Doing well on
time,
NXT.
Why don't you just leave NXT alone? Why don't you stop bringing people over? Because it seems to be a death sentence these days. Now I just want Raquel to stay.
So what's interesting about this is that when NXT 2.0 came to be, there was all this back and forth about Vince took it over, Vince didn't take it over, who's really in charge. Here's the bottom line.
Shawn Michaels claimed he was running it.
It's WWE NXT.
Oh, yeah.
WWE Raw, WWE Smackdown.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning WWE is owned by Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
And he always has the final say on all of
Period.
it, for sure.
So it's really frustrating that you had NXT, the black and gold brand, which we all love as is. We love these superstars as is. You call these superstars up to the main roster just to destroy them and then fire them. So like I said to you earlier,
Yeah.
WWE is no longer the place to be.
Yeah, man. I still can't get past the John Morrison.
See? That's what I'm saying. Look,
So
John
sad.
Morrison,
I'm so
Hit Row.
sad.
How can you not be mad about this? Because at this point, and you did this right, you really did this right before Survivor Series. You were firing people during the holidays. We just came out of COVID lockdown.
Right before Thanksgiving.
These people did what they could to try to sustain this company when there was no audience before the Thunderdome era. And all you can do is say, you know what? Thank you very much. We appreciate your service. We wish you well in your future endeavors. Goodbye. Hold on 1 second. Samantha Poole with the super chat. Thank you, Samantha.
Thank you.
What do we got here? This was a very unexpected release in tomorrow's SmackDown. WTF. I'm not upset, but I'm more shocked. Something smells fishy, but I'm not buying this budget cuts. There is something more than that.
I agree. I'm so tired of hearing about these budget cuts. And let me tell you how good companies.
Thank you, Samantha.
Let me tell you how good companies run. I know people who have been, head and managers and so forth and so forth. And when it's like time, okay, well, let's give all these big raises, big bonuses to the big dudes, that they'll say, hey, no, you know what? Let's chop that bonus down and let me divvy it up between my people, because we want to make sure that everybody is being acknowledged and included. And I just feel like there's so much greed at the top here. You have these billionaires who are just wiping their butts with their money, and you are letting entire families go, like we said last time. So now you let John Morrison go. You just let his wife go short time ago.
Yep.
So you just let their whole family go right before the holidays. This is not a family show.
this is a family show.
This is a family show.
And I'm really trying to hold her back because she's got some words. Out of the two of us, she talks like a sailor. But we mute her for the family show. Thank you, Chris, for that super chat. And just so everybody knows, our members and super chats, they do get on screen for sure. So if you want to get on screen and we'll read that, thank you so much, Chris A. We appreciate you. Yeah, NXT 1.0 used to be Ring of Honor. Well, hey, Ring of Honor at least had the decency to say we're shutting down.
Yeah.
Everybody's gone. You can work for everybody else immediately. We need to shut down, retool. We're going to come back in 2022.
And that's the worst thing is the no complete clause. It's like we could just let you go.
Right.
And, you know, you could be out here starving during the holidays, but don't you dare go work anywhere else.
For a good 90 days.
Oh, man.
For a good 90 days. So, honestly.
Oh, Johnny drip.
B, apparently Vince loves Raquel just as much as he likes Rhea. So, well.
Okay, so I hope so. I hope that's the case because, and that makes sense because he likes big dudes. It would make sense if he likes big women. You know what I mean? And which is why I'm so surprised that they let Nia Jax go. But anyway, which is why also, why can't we put Tamina in the bloodline? But I'm not going to say that every time we're on camera because I feel like
Tony Khan is smiling. Yes, he is.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure he is. I mean, now AEW can't keep picking up all these people. AEW is packed.
Well, no, AEW
is probably just going to be picking up more
everybody.
shows. Right.
For sure. But
AEW works with other promotions.
Exactly.
AEW has Impact, AEW, you know what I mean? They're open to working with other promotions, so you could still see them on AEW, even though they won't be on the roster.
Now, some people have said, like Prince Harris, thinks that they may be secretly preparing for a sell. That is.
I would not be sad about it.
It's possible.
Would not be sad about it.
Triple H feels guilty he's becoming from a health issue. Yeah, Triple H is becoming from a heart thing. I personally don't necessarily think that was a. I feel sometimes I have my thoughts on that.
Well, at least he knows he's not going to be fired while he's out injured.
I have my thoughts on that. But I am curious, though, because we dug the Miz and Morrison shtick. For some, it got kind of old.
How could you not? Well, I guess the average.
We dug the shtick, right? He leaves, does Dancing with the Stars. He's off Dancing with the Stars.
He has not been back.
Has not been back. And so, but he's done well with WWE. He's made them a lot of money. Yeah. They have a pretty good relationship. So my question is, what happens with Miz? Is Miz going to now come back as a singles competitor? Will Miz, in fact, be released? At this point, I think it's fair to say just about nobody is safe.
Yeah, I would say that too. And Miz, I'm sure they paid Miz a pretty penny.
Oh, for sure.
And to be honest with you, even though Dolph Ziggler has been a staple forever, they pay him a pretty penny too.
Absolutely.
So you never know.
Chris say, what WTF is the point of a no-compete clause? I'll be damned if a company fired me, kept me from working for another company. Hey.
Yes. Okay. So and we agree with you 1,000%, which is why we believe that every time these people get fired, that even though they can't compete, that they should be in the front row of AEW. Like, hey, big fan of AEW, just to rub it in the face of WWE.
Now check this out. Isaiah is over here talking about Impact Wrestling. Look how they treat their people. Look what they did. Mickey James is now champion again.
She sure is.
Mickey James was treated like boo-boo when she came back. But this is also what I'm trying to say. John Morrison left the company. And he did well. He will do well.
I loved him.
As will his wife.
Yeah.
But
I loved him on Lucha Underground.
It's frustrating when you come back home to a place that you honestly will walk around eggshells thinking, am I going to make is this, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's really upsetting to see this. Chris, you say, I don't see Miz getting released or Roman. No, Roman ain't going nowhere.
No, Roman's not going anywhere. Roman is safe. I don't think they would release
Love you stunning AJ Rose. Appreciate you.
I don't think they would release the Miz, but then again, what do I know? Like, I didn't think they would release Nia Jax.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There were some big names.
I mean, we didn't. No one could have told us they were going to release Bray Wyatt.
So I think we're at
We would
what,
have believed you.
80 some odd people now? Are we talking about 80 overall releases?
And where's Alexa?
Somewhere, man, I don't
Where's
even know.
Alexa?
I'll tell
Is
you
she
where
about to get released?
Jalen is. Jalen got the super chat. Thank you, Jalen
Thank you,
Young.
Jalen.
Thank you, guys. Me and my little sister love watching your videos, and we love
Oh,
making them.
thank you.
We really do, and we did not plan on going live. We were like,
Nah,
okay,
man.
that's it. We saw this. We gotta do what we gotta do because, you know.
Because everybody feels some type of way about it, and as soon as I saw his reaction, I'm like, let's just go live. Tell me on the air. I don't even want to know yet.
She didn't want to know.
I didn't even want to know.
So let me ask y'all this question. Let me ask you this question. What's up, Roland Bird? Roland Bird in the house? Oh, the Iconics. The Iconics. I was a fan.
Yep, and
I was a fan of the
champions
Iconics.
Again too.
But
That's
they
what
are
we're talking
champions.
about. Yes.
So you don't get treated well. 79 releases.
Hey, Tamira.
Let's just round it up. What's going on, Tamira? I've been watching pro wrestling, since I was no higher than a butterbean. All right? No, I will not. No higher than a butterbean. The son of a sharecropper from the wrong side of the tracks.
None of that is true.
That's gonna be my life story. But my thing is this. There was this mystery. You enjoyed professional wrestling that kept up with the kayfabe, and you had a good show. For years, you would have the Big Four, Survivor Series being one of them, and you looked forward to the show because there was buildup. You looked forward to the teams, you were invested in it. So this time, we've had, and it's been pretty much across the board. I think a lot of the YouTubers have said there have been no investment. We talked about this yesterday. No investment, no buildup to Survivor Series, no real interest in this. And now here you go, just days before Survivor Series, and then you cut 8 more people.
Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy. We remember when they did this first big round of budget cuts, right, during COVID, and we were so blown away. But look how fast they're happening back to back. And even when he said more budget cuts, what I say, who's left? Your roster is so paper thin. What are you doing?
So here's what we're looking at. We still have this brand split. And that's basically the entire premise of Survivor Series.
Right.
Just brand versus brand.
Right.
Right. So it was ridiculous for the brand split to begin with, I felt, because you had nobody on this side could wrestle anybody on this side and vice versa. And that was the only reason that the Universal Championship came to be.
Right.
Because if you were on this side, how will you wrestle for the WWE Championship?
Right.
So you had to do what you had to do. At this point,
right,
now that you have made all these releases, and especially for like people like Hit Row, where you find like I graduated to SmackDown, not so fast there. Not so fast.
Right. Just kidding.
So now the roster is, I don't know what kind of matches are we expecting to get?
Let me tell you who WWE is, okay? You're Hit Row, okay?
Uh-oh.
I'm WWE. Would you like an ice cream cone?
Oh yeah, I would.
Yes,
very much.
would you? Just kidding. Not for you. That's what happened.
Oh, we didn't break the mic. Cost some money there, baby.
Hello.
But that's legit. Roland, this is crazy. What's going on? I don't know. But let me ask y'all this question. All right, let me ask everybody this question. Let me ask you this question. Because the wrestling world is also split. We feel some type of way about WWE, but we still watch. We know there are some that, kind of do both.
And there's a lot who are one or the other.
Is this now pushing you, if you weren't already? Are you going to stick with WWE, or are you going to now be all elite?
And do you feel like you have to choose one or the other? At no point did we feel like we have to choose one of anything. We are fans of pro wrestling. There are pro wrestlers on every wrestling show, and we would like to see all of them, So we were excited that AEW is coming. We were excited that WWE was going to get some competition, and we still are. But we don't feel like we need to go, okay, well, screw it. We're all, just AEW. And it's entertaining. The feud is great. But do you feel like you have to be loyal to one show over another instead of just being a fan of professional wrestling and the professional wrestlers, regardless of where they are?
Yep. B is the coolest for Arcel World.
Oh, thanks, Arcel.
How do you not feel bad for Tegan Nox? I mean,
no, I don't even know.
This kid didn't even get a break. Okay.
No.
I'm all right.
Poor thing.
You're not going all elite, but WWE's pushing it. We feel you. We feel you. WWE's still good, but it's sad wrestlers are still getting released. I'm not going to watch either. Noah. WWE's trying to get rid of the indie people. Yeah, you know what? We've read about that. Yeah.
I think so, because I think that they are trying to do right now this AEW is indie, is more hardcore. And WWE is trying to, we did read that they were trying to bring in celebrities or people with a following or people from who were athletes that were not necessarily even professional wrestlers. Like, are you trying to stop being a professional wrestling show? I'm confused.
So do you think it was smart of WWE? I mean, it's not smart to release anybody. Was it smart for them to make these announcements right before Survivor Series? Like, because you every time we see these releases, we a little piece of us dies because we've invested ourselves into these superstars, right? And then they're gone. So now you're just like, okay, let me watch this pay-per-view with the remaining few.
Yeah, it's like you know you're going to leave a bad taste in her mouth. Why would you do it right before a pay-per-view that you already screwed up and didn't promote and didn't prepare for, and didn't have any build up to.
Right.
And why do you continue to have the draft right before Survivor Series? How does that make sense?
See, none of it makes sense because you
haven't
have
even been on a brand long enough.
No.
To care about, like, to be all faithful and all, I'm team this, I'm team that. Like, when you were just traded, like, they should have the draft right after Survivor Series.
You're right, Safe Emerald Armor. This is really weird. And at this point, I feel like the wrestlers, you got to feel for these people because at one point you had job security.
Right.
Nobody was getting fired.
Right.
And now it's at a point
when
where
their contract was up, they wouldn't re-sign.
Well,
but they didn't just.
I think you're kind of like looking, around the corner. Like, am I still hot? Am I still here? Do I still work here?
Right.
You know what I mean? And when a contract is up, like say Kevin Owens, are we going to see a all elite KO?
Well, this is going to be, okay. I believe that everybody, you guys can tell me if you agree with this. I believe everybody is watching because we know his contract is coming up. And I feel like they're pushing him right now because they do not want him to go. And I don't know if it's going to be enough. And I think everyone's going to be interested to see what happens with that.
Yeah, exactly. And here John Elite says the draft just happened. Like it just happened. Like it just happened. And now you have the general managers. Let's just call them what they are. And we saw it on the door. I think it was on Raw. It said general managers. Mm-hmm. Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville. They're just total heels, like the Authority.
Yeah.
At least when the Authority was the Authority, people were still employed.
Yeah.
But I
see what Monet said right there.
Vince hates wrestling, even though it's in the name. That's why I call it sports entertainment. He wants it to be a content company. You know what, Monet?
Yeah, I mean, it feels that way. I could see why you. I mean, it. I almost feel like at what point do they start questioning?
KO's leaving. Yeah.
At what point do they start questioning? Like, is he losing it? I mean, he's getting up there in age. Is he starting to?
Well, it's almost a joke. It's almost a joke at this point.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. At what point does someone go, "Hey, you know what? It's time. You're done."
Well, what's the end game here? You know what I mean? What is Vince's end game?
I think the
You're getting
sale
rid of
may
these
be
people.
true because it almost is like when you're going to sell your company and you do a liquidation. I feel. I almost think that may be true because I don't understand. I don't get it.
You know what I don't get? Let me tell you something about a sale. I don't know if y'all heard about the Staples Center, but they sold the rights, the naming rights. So come December,
If they know what the Staples Center is, they
the Staples Center will no longer, the Staples Center, the home that Kobe built. That's what people like to
the
call it.
home of the Lakers.
Okay, the home of the Lakers. Staples Center was called the Staples Center for the last 20 years. It's been sold to a company, and essentially they renamed it to a URL. Okay, it's crypto.com arena. For y'all who don't know, let me repeat that because everybody thought it was a joke out here. Crypto.com arena. Somehow that name just flows so much better. That's what a sale can get you. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a good thing.
And coming soon, crypto.com pro wrestling.
But with regards to pro wrestling, at the heart of what pro wrestling is, even if it's sports entertainment, it is still professional wrestling.
Right.
You are still getting us to believe that what we are watching is legit, is real. And we've talked about stuff in the ring, and sometimes they do the shenanigans that don't always fly. But what's real are the lives of these superstars that they've invested their time, their bodies into a company that just will fire you due to budget cuts and tell you you need to sit at home for 90 days
and do nothing.
And
then fire the husband and the wife and or the fiancés and say both of you need to sit at home and not do anything to make, in your line of work to make money for 90 days.
Hire people back thinking that you're going to go ahead and go far. And then all of a sudden we saw Drake Maverick once again chasing after the 24/7 championship. And then you get fired again.
Why is Reggie more entertaining?
Well, at least he flips.
That's all he does. He flips, but I forget he exists until I see him. I really, really enjoyed R-Truth with the title much more.
Well, we're in R-Truth. My man is not. See, we're not. It's been suggested that we take over as head of creative for WWE. We do have some thoughts. We have some thoughts on this. I honestly feel that this is not the end. I think we're going to see some more releases before the year is over. And I don't know how I feel about that, because when you have a roster that's so thin and a bunch of names that, quite frankly, don't stand out and aren't doing anything on a weird NXT 2.0, let's just call it what it is. Because we were watching AEW last night. But we were watching AEW last night. But the NXT arena, it's set up weird. It just looks weird. It looks like Halloween Havoc every single week. And it's just all this weird space. It's just the show's not making a lot of sense. It just
feels like a Nickelodeon kid show. It really does.
It's not making a lot of sense.
And let me tell you, just to bring up AEW, Bryan Danielson is getting down in the ring. He's about to get a title shot, and he is fighting on a whole nother level. I mean, man.
Well, Samuel Wong said, Big E said in an interview he wants WWE versus AEW. I mean, it'll never happen, but if it did,
AEW would be down.
That could only help both companies.
Right.
You want to talk about getting some interest? Come on, man. There was more competition when there was the Monday Night Wars, when WWE went down to WCW and wanted to start some mess, DX and the whole. It was a whole thing. We have not had any of that, right? It's as far as WWE goes, like AEW, a lot of people saying they're not competition, they're no threat. Look, Tony Khan has got money. He has no qualms about throwing money out to who he wants.
And he has no problem sharing it. That's the problem. Vince is like,
I know the ratings have been kind of whatever, but I mean, they're telling stories. They're doing well. AEW is doing well. WWE is hemorrhaging superstars and fans.
Yeah.
Like, here we are. We're talking one more time about more releases. And I promise you, this won't be the last time. It's beyond frustrating. AJ Lee Hey, AJ Lee. She's with Women of Wrestling. She's with WOW. Eddie Kingston's a jobber. He is, but he hits hard.
Eddie Kingston is although it got real with him last night. He was a little mad. He's all about the respecting, but he's older. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I mean, no offense to older people, we're not exactly spring chickens, but Eddie is, he's older. He's not here for a title run. That's not what he's here for. But he gets the job done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Chris A, it is a dumb name. Do not get me started on that. It's a dumb name. Thank you, Nixon, for loving our videos. We appreciate you. Danny Bryan said recently that WWE shouldn't be releasing people. And I mean, no, not like this, especially not during the holidays. This is the holidays. Black Friday is right around the corner.
Which is also why I am so for them going union. Which is what Vince wanted to fire Zelina for in the first place.
No, she was fired.
She was fired in the first place because she was all about going union, right? Yep. And someone needs to protect these wrestlers against these kind of contracts.
Mm-hmm.
What did Marcus say? I saw Marcus said something.
Marcus said something. Where'd you go, Marcus?
You're there.
Marcus, you said if Vince is releasing talent, why hasn't he released old wrestlers making their way more? Yeah, there are still wrestlers that actually have a Legends contract that you don't see. They pop by once a year.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what they get paid, but like X-Pac, guys like that, they do have a Legends contract.
Booker too, because on the last list of releases, Booker was like, am I on that list? So he obviously still has a contract too. But I mean, obviously their contract must look a little different because I've seen Booker actually doing commentary at other brands.
Yeah, no, the night they compete, we know they do still get paid. The point is, professional wrestlers are a certain type of breed, right? And like, there have some people that have used this as a means to an end, kind of like Eva Marie. But professional wrestlers, this is not an easy business to be a part of. You get in the indies, you might make $20. You've heard The Rock say over and over again, I got $7 in my pocket, wrestling in flea markets and high school gyms. When you get to the main stage, and the main stage can be New Japan Wrestling, Impact, whatever. But when you get to that point, you figured you have made it.
Right.
And you're kind of safe unless you're injured. And that's why nobody wants to be injured because, out of sight, out of mind, and that's it. But if you're healthy, you're wrestling, especially with somebody like Morrison who leaves, comes back. Okay, guys, I'm good, right? We got a good, nice, solid contract. Like how Dolph Ziggler has escaped some way, somehow, but he must have a good contract because there was an issue before COVID.
He actually tried to get out of his contract and they would not let him go.
But being a pro wrestler is it's in your blood. And this is what you want to do. So it's not about just sitting at home being paid. This is about I want to do what I love, and that's being.
It's almost like being on timeout. That's more what it's about. It's like you're on timeout, which just kind of stinks,
The Hit Row Show signs with Nickelodeon. I mean, they kind of were, before you left NXT 2.0. Samantha. Thank you so much for that super chat.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you. You say 100% believe that WWE is going to go for sale later on in the future because you just don't release almost 70 plus people. We're talking about 80 at this point for no reason. Like I said, budget cuts, BS. It is BS. You can hang on. Smell that BS? That's BS in the air. Yeah, that's straight BS, and we're not hearing it. We don't believe it. I think it's a bunch of whatever. Yeah. So that's kind of how we feel about what went down. There's another super chat. Hold on, I want to get there. Sophie, is it Sophie Dofi?
Sophie Dofi.
Awesome, thank you, Sophie. Welcome to the Donna Cone Ozfest. Why not? I'll tell you what though. More than anything, as a fan, I really do feel for the people that have left and come back, like Drake Maverick. The man was fired twice.
Yeah. And so will Samoa Joe. I think he'll be fired again too. I just think
That
at
just
this
sucks.
point, it just sucks because we as fans, we get connected to the wrestlers, which is what you want us to do. We get connected to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now you're like, you don't even you're scared to like somebody because.
No, Sophie, we didn't see Taya's tweet. We'll have to check it out when we get off the air. We did not see that. Time off is your worst enemy. Exactly.
Who's
Jason Tyus. Yeah, we didn't see that. We'll check that out.
I hadn't heard the list before we started, so
she really didn't.
I didn't go on social media. I wanted to genuinely find out.
Well, I mean, yeah. Who's going to be next? Who's going to be next? Who is up for release in this whole big budget cut nonsense, right? And that's what we're saying. You're releasing so many people, and you have this brand split. So what are we forced with on Raw and SmackDown?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're gonna have the same old,
right,
week in and week out.
Right. If you don't get rid of the brand split, which I don't see them doing with all these different titles they've added, like you said, there's not a lot of room for different rivalries. You really just have to keep playing the same feud over and over.
Exactly, Kayun. Good to see you, Kayun. Yeah, Morrison was wasted. I mean, the dripstick stuff, he's kind of a comedian. We were in Vegas for SummerSlam. She surprised me, right? I hate surprises, but she surprised me. This is a good surprise. So, speaking of Dolph Ziggler, he has a comedy club. I don't know if some of you may know, but he does comedy in his spare time. And he's actually pretty good. His brother actually does comedy with him. So she surprised me after SummerSlam. We went to his comedy club, and it was actually pretty interesting. They had some pro wrestlers there, and they did a whole bit. John Morrison actually came out on stage and had the dripstick and did a whole bit. So he likes being funny. Like it's natural to him.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of being himself, but he's also a parkour guy. He is a fantastic performer in the ring.
Fantastic.
But I really, we said this, we really wanted him to get a strap before he left, and it just didn't happen.
But I knew when he was down backstage meditating that if they didn't reunite him with Miz, that they were grasping, they didn't know what to do with him. Kayun is saying bye.
All right, Kayun.
Bye, Kayun. Thanks for stopping through.
Hey, Willie Ross Sport Rally is in here. Hit Row were announced this morning in the Survivor Series Tag Battle Royal. Release that. Hey, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's crazy.
Drake may have visa issues. The whole thing is ridiculous. Joe's a scouter. He's never originally supposed to have a wrestling role, but the story with Cross was too good to pass up. Yeah, and what happened there? Cross is gone. Mm-hmm. Scarlett's gone. Joe's nowhere to be seen. And we were fans of Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Big fans of Samoa Joe. So, Sophie, in the past 2 years, the WWE released 130 people. Ouch.
Crazy.
Ouch.
Yeah.
We know there are backstage people and referees and whatnot too.
Right.
But ouch. Thank you, Sophie, for that.
Thank you.
Let me ask y'all a question also, because we did a post about this. So we saw that Toni Storm, I don't know if you actually had a chance to see it. So Toni Storm was announced as the replacement on the women's side. Are y'all feeling that? Are y'all do you think this is going to be the tide that's going to wash over Raw? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is Toni Storm, is this it?
Kayun said something else right
AJ Styles is going to be released soon.
I don't know about that. But then again, what do I know? I mean, are they going to give almost a singles run? Or
Aaliyah and Jeff are next.
I will not be surprised about Jeff. I'm not even lying.
Hogan needs to go. Yeah.
Is he under contract? Oh,
yeah. Legends contract. Hogan needs to go. Vince should be fired. Marcus Brown. Keith Lee or either World's Bray Wyatt beating Roman Reigns at this point. Roman might just retire the championship and retire. I mean, Roman can pretty much do whatever he wants. He can write his own ticket. right now. I tell you what. I'll tell you what.
Get to that super chat.
It's always a little further
okay.
down. I'll tell you what. If Roman Reigns gets fired, if I see the name Roman Reigns released,
our show will not be a WWE show anymore.
you will see somebody's head flat out explode. And we will be in Stamford, Connecticut. Adam White, love your guys' videos and things you do. And Vince is BS. Adam White, thank you so very much for that. We really honestly enjoyed
yes,
this.
Vince, it's BS.
Yeah, it's BS. And then Mr. Paul Levesque, Triple H, the game. Surround himself with some investors, some deep pockets. He's just going along for the ride at this point.
I mean, honestly, NXT was my favorite. It was my favorite. And I know that some people, I know one of our fans I just saw in here said that he thinks that NXT 2.0 is great and he likes it. We're just not feeling it. Like, and I think maybe too, you kind of wiped the slate clean. You kind of only left us with a few of the people we know, and you brought in so many new people at once. So now we're feeling like we're watching a different show. You got everything looks different. We're not really feeling the look. But now, like you took a lot of the people that we wanted to watch, and then you brought them up to release them. And so now we're just like, we don't, why even bother getting invested in the new people you're bringing in with NXT? Because you're just going to release them anyway. Like, I don't know.
There was like Ring of Honor. People aren't really feeling Toni Storm. I mean, she's done much of nothing on the main roster, essentially. And she just popped back up. The fact that she's on this team, Naomi should have been on this team. And whatever this deal is that Sonya Deville's got with her, and anybody that is apparently touches Naomi is poison. It's crap.
Well, they're going to have to bring that to a head at some point. They have to fix that. They can't leave that like they did the Lana thing. I mean, like ever so often they'll just do these storylines that are so.
Tony's not changing much.
Type of way, and then they don't, really bring it full circle. They just kind of drop the story.
No, they do. What about Ali? I mean, Ali. I tell you what, we saw a thing that Ali was going to do, like this kind of politic president, or the new country.
Oh yeah, and that just went away too.
That would have worked. I think that really would have worked.
Saw it, I'm like, oh, that seems like that's a good idea.
Because he's floundering right now. My man is floundering. He's a good in-ring performer.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him released either, because they like you said,
got nothing.
They cannot figure it out.
Behind the script, what do you think about what I had to say about the WWE being sold and why these releases are happening? I'd say what behind the script, it's very possible. There's a lot of talk about this being sold. I unless they're really legitimately in trouble, right? Like unless they're seriously in the red and they're just slashing across the board, and Vince is sweating bullets. I don't think Vince is going to sell until I don't think WWE would be sold until the man is in the ground, until Vince is literally buried and not alive. He is dead. I don't know.
I don't even know if at that point Triple H and stuff would want to sell it. But I do think it's interesting that Shane came back for a while.
Yeah.
And that he's not even behind the scenes. He left again.
Yep.
Like, it's not like Stephanie and Triple H just stayed behind the scenes, but they never, this is their company.
Yeah.
Shane left, did his own thing, came back for a while.
Shane needs to come back.
And then he left again, and he's gone. He has nothing
But
to
if
do
Shane
with it.
comes back, I don't want to see anything stupid like he did with Braun. Because that last bit was ridiculous.
That was so dumb.
Like they keep trying stuff and then it just goes to nothing.
Because what they do is they try the stupidest stuff and they ruin a character. They ruin it. They did it to Eric Rowan. They did it to Braun Strowman. They ruined Bray Wyatt's amazing character.
Destroyed.
And I just think that it's like every time they get their hands on something, they like
it's destroyed. WWE's in the red, huge negative. Jackson Wright is the only person I want to release. Yeah, and that's somebody else.
He should have been
feuded. And let's talk about that for a hot second. Because Jackson Riker had this thing with a member if you remember, walking with Elias, and Elias was dead. He was changing his character. He walked away. What's going on with Elias? I know he's a free agent. What's the deal?
I wouldn't be overly surprised to see his name come up either.
Like, what is going on?
I know.
You have all these free agents, and yet people here who are trying to work and trying to make a living, you just, what is going on? WWE, you are killing us. For the first time in a long time, we are not excited about a Survivor Series. That's sad.
Yeah.
We want to be. It's an event. It's a Thanksgiving event.
Right. You're taking this away from us.
Alexa Bliss could be next. Nobody is safe.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's safe. Dana Brooke is still there. How?
Why is Dana Brooke still there?
How?
Somebody explain that to me, please.
How was that happening?
And I know people are feeling dewdrop, but I am not. And let me tell you why. Her acting is so bad that I don't believe a word she says. I don't believe she's angry. I don't believe she doesn't like anybody. I don't believe her.
But change
I
the
need her
dewdrop.
to take some classes.
There's nothing wrong with her name. Go back to your name.
Yeah,
Eva
go
Marie
back
is
to her
gone.
name. Eva Marie is gone. That name is stupid.
Drop the dewdrop. And
I'm just not feeling her. And maybe when her and Bianca fight, maybe she'll.
Tamina's still in WWE.
She needs some mic skills.
Hey, now Sophie Dofi once again. Appreciate you. AEW got a lot of free agents to sign now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know though, because
Facts.
AEW is kind of. I mean, their roster is deep.
It's deep, but they added a Friday night show.
Mm-hmm.
They got their pay-per-view. Their pay-per-views were hidden. This last pay-per-view they had, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
Yeah.
So they could probably add a third. I wouldn't be surprised. They have AEW Dark.
And actually, Eddie Kingston and CM Punk, that match was no joke.
Yeah, it was no joke.
I mean, they were hitting hard. There was blood. I mean, that was.
If Isaiah says Dewdrop is supposed to be Nia Jax's replacement, if that's the case,
Good golly.
If that's the case, that's ridiculous. If that's the case, that's pathetic.
See, but
nothing against Dewdrop, but come on.
Like I said before, the cojones to release The Rock's cousin and just think that The Rock will never feel any type of way about it.
Well, somebody did ask about this, and we talked about it last night, and we still say, I still say, because it is his anniversary, and with these releases, get The Rock a Survivor Series. Get The Rock a Survivor Series. If you smell, have that music hit at the end of Roman and Big E's match. I'm telling you, at least for that time being, we will all forget about these releases.
I will bet you money they can't get The Rock to show up.
Hey.
I bet you money they can't get The Rock to show up.
Hey.
They can't do it.
Okay, you, what you got to say, brother? Survivor Series is supposed to be great this year, but guess what? No brand, no warfare, no storyline, no hype.
Yeah.
Point blank.
And point blank.
Across the board, nobody's feeling this.
Mm-hmm.
And we hope that it's going to be a good show. Insane
Clown.
Clown, hey, bring the Insane Clown posse. Why not? Vampiro, that's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, we're all pissed. We're all mad. And more than anything, we're going to just do a quick moment of silence. We're going to do a quick bell salute for the fallen soldiers that have been released from the WWE, if you would.
Ding! Ding! Ding!
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, that had to happen because this is some bull. Okay, I'm not a cussing man, and this is a family show.
I'll say this some bullshit. I didn't say it.
She censored herself. Who do you think is going to beat Roman Reigns for the title and where? I'll tell you what. If you ask her,
nobody never.
Nobody never. Nobody never. You ask me, the only two possibilities are either a Brock or a Rock. That it has to be one of the two.
Well, but see, and the only reason that I think that it would, But if you're going to take the belt off of someone who shows up every week, right? Are you going to put it on a part-timer? That is the question. They put the belt on Brock, and you rarely saw the belt, and you only saw it at pay-per-views.
I know.
It doesn't even make sense to pay Brock to only show up at pay-per-views now because, like you said, instead of paying for pay-per-views, you have the network. So you're not making money on pay-per-views, which is why they don't even care about them anymore. They don't even bother preparing us for them. So that's why now I think, they had Brock show up when they did because of CM Punk showing up at AEW. But I don't know. I don't see him losing it to Rock.
She'll see nobody losing it.
Well,
She don't see nobody beating him.
Rock because that doesn't make any sense.
Let's give a big shout to Sophie Dofi. She's a new member of A&B Combos.
Welcome
Thank you,
to the fam.
Sophie. We are so glad you are enjoying yourself. We do have special content, members only exclusives. You will see it.
Yes, here. Go ahead. Isaiah Smalls, go ahead. Do that.
Isaiah, what? What
do
am I doing?
Go ahead with the microphone.
For Brock Lesnar.
There you go.
Brock Lesnar will, in fact, be back and does want a piece of Roman Reigns. But more than anything,
don't we all?
I
don't mean it. I mean, don't they all? Don't they all?
Okay. You know what? Let me get back over here into the chat because I think it's time to go. How do you promote a pay-per-view in 2 weeks?
You don't.
You tweet the 505s. You haphazardly throw it together, and like we said, that you decide to just have a little controversy. You're off the team. You're off the team. You're off the team.
People who we didn't care that they were on the team in the first place.
And now we're changing teams with a Tony Storm. So really, Aaliyah is not as good as Tony Storm. Like they're both NXT. Okay. They're calling him Von Wagner. Okay. I mean, that's fine. He just had a thing with Kyle O'Reilly. I was kind of digging, but what does that leave NXT? It just, I don't know. None of this is really making sense.
What did Monet say?
Did I miss you, Monet? Hold on.
Yeah, you went now. Go right.
Seth, Drew, Ron Breakker.
For what? To be Roman? Now,
I can see that.
I mean, Seth isn't on the same show anymore, but ultimately,
I can see that.
When they are on the same show again, that would just be.
Xavier Woods will dethrone Roman Reigns. Ooh. Wow. Hit Row had one match on Smackdown.
I like him, but that's not going to happen.
Well, look what happened with Keith Lee. He was a double champion when he left and got called up. He had several matches.
We were so excited to see Keith Lee and Bobby Lashley go the distance. And instead, they threw Keith Lee out like a jobber.
Thank you, Sophie.
And they didn't even bother. I mean, Keith Lee is so strong. Bobby is so strong. We just knew that was going to be an amazing fight.
Yeah.
And
what do we think of Bianca versus Tamina? That actually was better than we were expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Tamina, I'm actually concerned about because at least she finally, after 11 years, got a strap. That tag team didn't really do much of nothing. And now she's separated from her tag team partner and is once again going at it solo.
And why didn't they just put her on Raw to put her on the Bloodline? It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Yeah. She came out with the Usos for a reason. It made sense that she came out with them then. I don't know why they needed to separate her from them at whatever point.
Yeah.
But it makes sense for her to go be the female heavy with the Bloodline. I'm not going to stop saying it. And if they let that woman go before they give her that opportunity,
Yeah, Jonathan, Hit Row is gone. All of them. All of Hit Row has been dismissed. Yeah, at the end of the day, all of these wrestlers will be fine. They will find other promotions.
Yeah.
They would do other stuff. It's not so much we're concerned about their well-being. We know that they'll be fine and they'll do other stuff. It's more so for us, the fans, that you just keep trimming away and trimming away and trimming away till you leave us with nothing. Mm-hmm. You're not doing any investment in a major pay-per-view that we are paying. Let's be honest. We're paying money for this.
Yeah, because regardless of whether or not we pay for the pay-per-view, we're paying for this network.
Whether it's $5 or $50, we're paying our money to be entertained. We are spending our time watching this program to be entertained.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? And
no, we're not.
No. And I think that Keith Lee will have his vengeance in this life or the next. I just took it somewhere. I just took it somewhere.
Okay, it's almost been an hour.
Yeah, so I think that's it for us. We went on our soapbox rant.
We sure did. We're sorry we rambled.
But we appreciate everybody coming in on such short notice.
And we do read all the comments.
We do, and
it's hard to get to. Hey,
we're trying. What?
Oh, I thought it said TJ Johnson. I thought that was our daughter for a second.
No.
But you can still read what he said since I said his name.
What
did TJ Johnson say?
Oh, hang on, Marcus Brown. Marcus Brown had I don't know where TJ Johnson went. Seth could cash in his championship opportunity on Big E Sunday like oh well, that is possible, but he still wanted a piece of Roman.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
He wanted a piece of Roman, and I think if you wanted to get some kind of real controversy, get it on a different brand. Mm-hmm. Go to the big dog. Step to the big dog. Like I like to say. Rotten storylines, non-existent storylines, rematch after rematch after rematch, and that's what we're going to get.
Mm-hmm. Because they're if they thinned it out, that's all you can get.
Marcus Brown with the super chat. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Marcus.
I think Vince don't want someone to eventually beat Roman Reigns and cringe Becky Lynch. She even said she's been champion since WrestleMania 35 A&B. I mean, hey, but she misspoke. She said she won that Raw Women's Championship in 26 seconds, right. And she did not. That was just an exchange.
That was right. The Smackdown.
Okay, yeah. That was an exchange. I'm still looking forward to that match because I think that Becky Lynch will step up her in-ring game when it comes with Charlotte because there is some real animosity there.
She has to because Charlotte's a strong competitor, and at the end of the day, they do have real life animosity. So I do believe that she's going to have no choice but to come up to that level.
And it is going to be. Where do you go? Samuel, it'll be your birthday on the 28th. We hope to remember that. If you will drop us a DM, but happy early birthday to you. Yes. Now, do you see John Cena with his 17th championship at WrestleMania 38?
No, I don't see John Cena with nothing.
Don't see it happen.
I thought it was funny in SummerSlam, all these people walking around with John Cena gear all over the place. And, I mean, it wasn't even that great of a fight.
Yeah.
It really wasn't.
No, it was kind of lackluster. Charlotte still has some time on her contract, but it's possible. But Charlotte's also kind of like Ric Flair. They got that ego. And so long as they are made people, Ric Flair is a made guy. At least he was. Charlotte right now is a made woman. I don't necessarily see it happening.
I don't know. She could be made somewhere else.
It's kind of hard to say.
I think she might want to go be with her man.
Okay. Oh, where is William Regal? Has anybody seen William Regal?
Where is William Regal?
Good question. Where is William Regal? See, this is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Where is everybody? Brandon with the super chat up in here. Thank you, Brandon. Hey guys, enjoy the stream. WWE isn't the same as when I was a kid. Only reason I have cable is to watch wrestling. Very disappointing after 20 years.
We talk about that all the time. I mean, okay, seriously, back in my day, back then, I mean, they even had the WWE cartoon was Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper and Andre the Giant, and I mean, it was obviously more PG back then with the cartoons and stuff, but they also had, they've had all these different eras, as we know, and this is just. Even if there was some eras that weren't great, this is new.
Yeah.
just firing people left and right, not caring about your pay-per-views because you lumped it in with, another network. And I just, this is not a WWE we recognize, and it makes us sad. And I think
that's what it is. We don't recognize this WWE.
And we keep watching because we have hope that it's going to get better. But
I don't know. No, we were not kidding, Roderick. Just like we were not kidding about the renaming of Staples Center to crypto.com arena. Y'all realize that's a URL, right? You named a whole arena after a website. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, we don't know this. We don't know this WWE. And like we said, the pageantry, even with WrestleMania, they know they're going to do another 2 nights. If you go back in the day, I'm talking back in the day, when you had guys like Mr. T, Cyndi Lauper, you had legit actors, worldwide famous superstars, and you had Roddy Piper who would kick and slam Cyndi Lauper in the middle of the ring. People lost their minds. We don't have that. We don't see that. There's different. No pageantry. There's nothing.
I mean, do you remember the SummerSlam when DX rode out on their tank and like?
Exactly.
I mean, it's just different. It's different, and we hope that it will change for the better. But
the Staples Center name change is happening this December. So by Christmas, it will be crypto.com. We've been there. We've been there several times watching.
That's where we saw.
That's where we saw The Rock there. And we're now going to go to the crypto arena.
Yeah, we saw The Rock.
Going to the crypt. West Side.
It was electrifying.
All right, guys, that's it for us. We appreciate each and every one of you for joining us today. Thank you to all our new members. Thank you for all the super chats. You have no idea how much it means to us.
And come back Sunday.
We honestly think every time we get on here, we will have nobody. Nobody cares about A&B combos. But we appreciate all the love you guys always show us.
And we're excited that even though we're not as excited about Survivor Series as we could be, we're excited to watch it with you guys because you guys are entertaining.
We will be there 15 minutes before showtime of Survivor Series, and let's see what we got. So much love to each and every one of you guys. Thank you so very much for joining us. It's another sad day, and I'm sure this won't be the last of it, but what can you do? Love and respect and peace, everybody. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you Sunday.
See you Sunday.
Bye.